treating you well. The NFL and NBA definitely gave us gifts on Christmas Day. We are getting into all of it. Stephen A., Max.
Merry Christmas. Hope y'all's was lovely. Mine's was lovely. Let's get it.
Let's get it. So yesterday might have been December 25th, but the intensity looking more like June 25th in the land. The Cavaliers came back from a 14-point deficit and took the lead for good with Kyrie Irving's go-ahead shot while falling. Deja vu, anyone? The difference. Now the Warriors have Kevin Durant, who can take over a game when they need him. That's what Golden State attempted in the last possession with only seconds remaining in the game, but no one counted on Richard Jefferson to be there, who appeared to trip Durant in the process. Stephen A., I want to go micro first on this classic matchup. Did Durant get fouled?
Well, to me, that doesn't matter. It's obvious that you can make the argument that he got fouled. I'm going to sit up there and say no. No, I don't care what anybody has to say. That wasn't a foul. The fact of the matter is you got the ball. There's 3.4 seconds left. Everybody knows that you look like a shorter version of Manute Bol in terms of you being skinny. Okay, that's who you are, and it is what it is. You got the ball on the perimeter. Richard Jefferson gets up on you. You got to find a way. You were going away from the basket. Did somebody's touch? Sure. But you don't get that call in that particular situation. It was not flagrant. The fact is, it's debatable as to whether it was a foul or whether it was not. The way Kevin Durant fell, it looked like a foul, but that doesn't mean it actually was a foul. In the end, what it comes down to is this. KD, one of the top two players on the planet, had the ball in his hands at money time yet again, and he was nowhere to be found. That's what it comes down to. I mean, the only reason we saw him late in the damn fourth quarter was because he was on his backside, heaving up the ball, trying to hit a shot to win the game. You do not call the foul in that situation. I'm not saying it definitively was or wasn't, because it could have gone either way. But I'm going to flow with the referee on this one. I'm not giving him that call, Max. He's not getting that call in that situation. There is no way on earth that I want to hear anything about a foul. It is 109, 108 with 3.4 seconds left. The ball is in your hands. You are one of the top two players in the world. You shoot 50% from the field. You are a scoring machine. You have an opportunity to go down as one of, if not the greatest scorer in the history of basketball. You got to do something in that situation. He did it. That's it. And by the way, it was against Richard Jefferson, who impressed me, by the way. I'm very proud of him. But I'm just saying, 36-year-old Richard Jefferson is guarding you, and somehow, some way, you stumble over your feet. No, I'm not giving him that call. I'm not doing it.
Remind me, because it was a while ago already. What was the question?
Did he get fouled?
Okay. Yes, he got fouled. He didn't trip over his feet.
We don't know
that.
Jefferson. We don't know that. You have evidence of that?
In fact, I do have evidence of that. Can we see the overhead view? Can we see the overhead view of the video?
Sure.
Richard Jefferson, he didn't just trip over his foot. He stepped on his foot right there.
Oh, really? Really? You sure?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yes. In boxing, that happens all the time. When a southpaw fights an orthodox fighter, their feet get tangled and they trip. That is a quote-unquote veteran move.
I'm not aware that tripping that's not flagrant is a foul. These things happen. The big feet are on the floor together. What do you want him to do?
He stepped on his foot and he tripped them. Now, I will withhold the rest of my analysis of what happened. For now, but to answer the question as to whether or not Kevin Durant was fouled by Richard Jefferson, unequivocally, yes, he was.
Oh, it's very equivocal. It's very equivocal. It's not unequivocal. It's equivocal. Because I'm here to tell you something right now. For me, listen, there's going to be contact. Incidental contact is not necessarily a foul.
Incidental?
Yes, it's incidental. Yes. Now, in fairness to you, you do have somebody who agrees with you in Jeff Van Gundy. Me, I have somebody who agrees with me in Mark Jackson. You understand? I'm a flow with Mark Jackson on this one, okay? Even though I have nothing but profound respect for the A-team overall. Yes. Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, led by my brother from another mother, Tim Corrigan. But the bottom line is that it was relatively incidental, and I'm not giving him that call. I'm not giving it to him.
I want to bring up someone to you, another famous person with an initial in their middle name.
Okay.
Stephen J. Gould. Okay?
Who the hell
Stephen
is
Jay
that?
Gould was an evolutionary biologist.
Oh, my God.
Who wrote about Don Larson's perfect game in the World Series.
Right.
And the fact was that the umpire who called the last strike went back and cried privately after the game. He wrote about it later because he knew the pitch was 6 inches outside.
Oh, okay.
And the question that Stephen Jay Gould posed was, is truth? That's right.
All right.
Evolutionary biologist, someone who's a philosopher.
What's your pen? I appreciate the knowledge.
The question was, is truth spot or circumstance?
All right.
And he argued, as a Yankees fan who wanted Don Larson to have a perfect game, that truth is circumstance. And maybe it is. But if you isolate the question as to whether or not it was a foul, the answer is take circumstances out of it. Yes, it was. The truth is the spot.
Couple of questions
I didn't learn that at UConn.
Couple of questions here. Stephen, is that with a PH or a V?
PH.
PH, right? That's PH. And the Gould, how do you spell it?
G-O-U-L-D.
G-O-U. That's Stephen J.
The late great.
That's Stephen J. Gould right here.
Biologist.
To come to Kevin Durant's defense,
Stephen A. Stephen J.
You bring up a biologist?
That's right.
Is that what you just did? That's how bad it got to Kevin Durant. Hold on. Molly, that's how bad it got to Kevin Durant.
It's a philosophical question.
Max Kellerman brought up a biologist to come to the defense of Kevin Durant. That's what you're Kevin Durant. You're one of the top two players in the world. And Max Kellerman. Now, you actually help him here. Because think about this. The great player that he is, Max Kellerman knows his basketball. You understand? Just like you give me credit for knowing my boxing, I'm going to give you credit for knowing your basketball. You know your basketball. You know how great Kevin Durant is. You know what a superstar he is. You know what a scoring machine he is. You even said it. He's the best player on Golden State before he played a game, even in preseason for them. But you're sitting here, despite that bounty of evidence, and you're using a biologist to come to his defense.
What I'm doing is, Stephen A, is I'm citing Stephen J to explain what you're posing as a scenario. You're asking, is truth spot or circumstance? You, as Stephen J did, are arguing truth is circumstance. I have not yet weighed in on that matter. All I'm saying is, if you're asking technically, is that a foul? The answer is yes.
But you don't understand. I'm not knocking you for it. I'm saying you've helped Durant because you've come up, because the basketball gods everywhere is like, we don't want to hear that. Outside of the Warriors fans, they don't want to hear that. I want to hear something. But Max comes up with a biologist, so we got to sit back and scratch our head and go like this. But damn, I got to think about that just a little bit here. I didn't think about the biologist angle. Man, now, this is what I got to do to help Durant, who's one of the top 3 players in the world, 6'11", 7'6" wingspan, can pull up from 30, average 30 in his sleep, and got a 36-year-old in Richard Jefferson defending him and can't get a shot off until he's laying on his backside.
He got tripped.
By the way, got a 43-year-old defending him.
Okay, what?
He tripped him.
Really?
Yeah,
you have evidence
he tripped
of this?
him.
You have evidence?
Yeah, it's called watching the game. I used my eyes.
No, go ahead.
All right, you guys want to get to the rest of the game?
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
LeBron James had 31 points, 13 rebounds. Kyrie Irving added 25 points, 10 assists, and 7 steals, and hit the game-winning shot with 3 seconds remaining. The first go-ahead shot in the final 5 seconds on Christmas Day since Derrick Rose 5 years ago. Max Kellerman. Now we can go macro. What did you learn from this finals rematch?
The Warriors are in worse trouble than I anticipated. To begin the season, I thought, back it up a couple years. The Cavs take the Warriors 6 tough games without Kyrie or Kevin Love. So now I'm thinking, all right, they got Kyrie and Kevin Love. They got this against the Warriors. But over the course of the season, I saw what the Warriors were doing, and I thought, the Cavs have nothing for them. And then what we found was the Cavs had plenty for them. LeBron and Kyrie was too much for those guys because their best player, Steph Curry, and I love Steph Curry, but I got to say what I think. LeBron took his heart. That's how I saw it. LeBron blocked shots during the finals.
Okay, go ahead.
What was it, game 5 or 6? When he blocked the shot and screamed on him.
And screamed on him and looked at him like, oh my Lord, that was LeBron's defining moment right there. Go ahead.
Who was
Go
it?
ahead. It was LeBron James
who said, scream on you like your dad. Screamed on him like his dad.
What you think?
And Steph didn't say anything bad. He didn't say anything bad. And he just, he psychologically dominated him. And then they wound up winning. And LeBron and Kyrie did it down the stretch. But then I thought they went 7 tough games. And they were kind of lucky to win in Game 7 on the road. Give Cavs all the credit. And now the other team adds Kevin Durant. Yeah, I know Bogut's defensively important and this and that, but you add Kevin Durant to that and you barely lost in 7? Oh, that's too much. It's too much firepower. But what we just saw was that to integrate a piece as large as Durant, even if it's just one piece, forget about what else they're missing defensively. To integrate that piece is a big thing. And the Cavs have continuity, Stephen A. They got the same team, basically, same coach. They're just coming off the win, which means they know they can do it. And furthermore, and this was the big takeaway from me, Steph Curry has played less than his best when it's counted the most in the finals for the Warriors. We just saw Kevin Durant also shrink in that moment. So Durant and Steph in crunch time, if it comes down to it, do you trust them as much as you trust Kyrie and LeBron? The answer is no. Unequivocally no. Now, I know it's not all about hero ball, and I'm here usually yelling at you. It's not all about hero ball. That's not what decides it. But in this case, when it's that close, I think it is. And so that game went a ways towards making me think about this season and this postseason differently.
Few things that we got to throw out here. Number one, it's Christmas Day. Steph Curry hasn't had his best days on Christmas days. Let's throw that.
Or in the finals.
Let's throw that out there. Or in the finals to some degree, even though I contend to you that he was not near 100%. Right. And I think that considering the fact that he's the reigning 2-time league MVP, we have to give him more respect than that, because as a jump shooter who was never on Steph Curry's level, when you are a jump shooter, more so than your game being predicated on athleticism, when you are a jump shooter, it's usually a product of your health or your shot being off as it pertains to somebody stopping you. Because when you shoot jump shots, you literally believe in your heart of hearts that if somebody doesn't block your shot, there's nothing they can do to you. So I don't look at anybody taking Steph Curry's heart. Either your shot is falling or you're not. You're healthy or you're not. Kevin Durant is an entirely different matter, and I'll get to him in just a minute. But it's an obligation of me to say this. LeBron James is the real deal. The superstar showed up again yesterday. 4 big-time three-pointers he hit in the second half. I think it was all in the third quarter. The dude is just special. There's no doubt about it. But I piggyback to my comment from last week when I talked about the greatest player for those 4 to 6 minutes. And those last 2, it's somebody else. And that dude is Kyrie Irving. We have to stop the presses right now. My man Phil Handy, who's an assistant coach formerly of the Lakers, now in Cleveland, works with Kyrie Irving and the other players a lot, does a hell of a job. I think he's going to be an outstanding coach for years to come in the NBA. Give him his love. Give Kobe some love, because Kyrie is close to Kobe, and Kobe gives him a lot of counsel and has been doing so. Met him last year during the playoffs, okay? This dude, Kyrie Irving, is special. Special. He's nasty. He'll dance on anybody. Got a nasty handle. Added the 3-point shot to his repertoire. He's got a mid-range game. Post up not just smaller guards his size, but even bigger dudes, evidenced by his shot over Klay Thompson yesterday. Because I don't think you could play better defense than Klay Thompson put on them yesterday with that last shot. So we got to throw love out there to Kyrie Irving. He's just that dude, same dude that averaged 27 in the NBA Finals, by the way, that dropped 45 in Game 5 with LeBron. This is the Kyrie Irving that I'm talking about. It is time to stop the damn presses and to show Kyrie the kind of love that he deserves. But I want to say this last part before I let you go. And I'll get more into this on my final take today. Oh, dude, Kevin Durant, I usually don't like telling people what I'm going to say. You know, my final take. I'm going to address Kevin Durant in my closing remarks today. 6'10", 7'6" wingspan, averages 30 in his sleep, highly efficient, one of the top 2 players as far as I'm concerned on the planet Earth. Nowhere to be found in the fourth quarter with over 9 minutes left. This dude had 33 points. The last 9+ minutes, 3 points, all on free throws. Not one shot against LeBron in Cleveland on Christmas Day after you dropped 33, but with 9 minutes left, not one field goal in the last 9 minutes. I ain't want to hear about this no more. This is ridiculous.
Two things. One.
My closing remarks. That's all I'm going to say. Go ahead.
LeBron James going away in the last 2 minutes, I don't believe that's the case. What LeBron is primarily is not a scorer. He scores because he has to.
I'm only talking about as a scorer.
I understand.
Right.
He can, so he does. LeBron's temperament is naturally one of a point guard or a point forward. In fact, remember the All-Star game before LeBron came to Cleveland? You could see him trying it out with Kyrie. I'm going to hook this guy up. LeBron really plays point guard usually with Kyrie,
yes,
right?
I understand that.
So Kyrie is the kind of, his natural mentality is that of a scorer, and LeBron's is that of a guy who, hooks teammates up. That's one. So it appears in those moments that LeBron doesn't want it, but I don't actually think that's the case. Two, I want to take it back to his truth spotter circumstance, right? Was it a foul on Durant? It certainly was a foul on Durant, just like it was certainly traveling on Kyrie on the game-winning shot. Kyrie stopped, then moved both his feet, and then shot. You could watch. It's incontrovertible video evidence. Kyrie traveled. The basket should not have counted. Kevin Durant was fouled. It should have been called. However, knowing the circumstances of the history of the NBA, that ticky-tack stuff will not be called down the stretch. The technicalities won't be called. The refs are going to let him play, so to speak. Having that information, fortune favors the bold. Kyrie's like, well, whatever, I'm going to try it. Didn't get called. Fortune favors the bold. His shot counted. Durant trips and falls and looks for the call. Ain't going to work that way, KD. And they should know all that. And that goes into the sense that Kyrie and LeBron will get it done when it counts. KD and Steph, you're not sure.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that Golden State can't. It's a regular season game in December. It's indicative of what could happen. We'll see how they feel when they go to Golden State to play them on their home turf at the Oracle next month. But in the end, what I was saying about LeBron is this. I'm only talking about this is the only impediment. Back in the day, y'all, LeBron didn't want the ball late because he didn't want to go to the free throw line. He's overcome that years ago.
Yep.
Now, yes, he could be a point forward and all of those different things. I'm simply making the case that when the game is on the line and you want the ball in somebody's hands, he's not that top 5 guy that you want the ball in his hands in those clutch moments because he's make or miss, because he's a scorer, he's a lot of things, but he's not a shooter, he's not a marksman like other guys are, but he's still a top 5 player in the world. It is what it is. Again, I'll get into Kevin Durant with my close of my final take.
It was such a good game.
Okay, but it was a fantastic game. It was special. Has me looking forward to the finals. I wish the rest of the regular season was that damn exciting.
No question. The Warriors shouldn't be too down on that loss, though. The last 3 NBA champions all lost their Christmas Day games. We want you guys to head over to Twitter, weigh in on a topic we're going to get to a little later in the show. Who's LeBron's best teammate ever? Kyrie Irving or Dwayne Wade? We want to hear from you guys.